Welcome to Sensibly Cynical. My name is Sean, and with me again is my co-host Frank Jag. What's up, Frank?
Hey, I'm sitting here next to you, so still don't have a life, I guess.
Okay, well, this is the 6th edition of Today's World. So, Frank, what do you want to talk about today?
Well, first I want to talk about something I saw today. I heard it on the radio. It happened about a little while ago. It happened in November, but I think it's worth mentioning because it's crazy. So this chick and her boyfriend, they were drinking and they started talking about vampires.
Right.
So like any normal conversation about vampires, an argument, she started stabbing him.
Mm-hmm.
Then, like any romantic apology, she wrote, "I love you and I'm sorry, babe," in blood on the wall.
Right.
So anyway, now she's in jail, obviously. She was only in jail after she told cops, that she was drinking her own blood because she thought it could turn her into a serial killer.
Mm-hmm.
That's one crazy chick.
Okay, well, what do you want to talk about? I know your favorite topic, Donald Trump. You want to talk about how he, what he's been in the news lately for? He's talking about tough talk on opioids, but he hasn't brought up details yet.
Well, he wants to put the death penalty for opioid dealers. Now, people would say, well, drug dealing is not that big of a deal. I don't think people deserve a death penalty for it, but you got to look on the brace.
It's the third highest rate of deaths in the country.
Well, you got to look at.
You
got to look at drug dealing in the sense that if you make it the death penalty, how many people, for the amount of money you're going to make selling drugs, are going to risk getting the death penalty? Not much. You're probably going to close to eliminate it. Not close to eliminate, but you definitely kill it quite a bit.
Well, on Monday, he made his first appearance in New Hampshire since the campaign, and that was his message. But where's the details? And who's paying for it?
What details? He said they want to give the death penalty to freaking opioid.
How much is this going to cost?
The death penalty?
How are they going to,
There's a lot of dead.
How long is it going to take to implement
the death penalty? They have to vote on it.
Okay.
Then they have to implement it.
We'll see what happens. He's always about talk.
President. He's the president. He does tweet. Actually who talked him into...
You're right. Excuse me. He doesn't talk. He tweets. He
tweets a lot, and who actually talked him into that? Who actually gave him the idea? His first wife, believe it or not. I bet apparently he's still pretty close with his first wife, and actually she's the one that actually gave him the idea to actually tweet to get a hold of the American people. So honestly, you can say whatever you want, like him or hate him. That's a very effective way to get a hold of people and get your message across. He's also been tweeting a lot about the Mueller thing and the FBI heads that he's gotten rid of, and
it seems like his cabinet is like a rotating.
Well, everyone was.
It's like a lazy Susan, rotates.
Everyone's cabinet's kind of rotating all the time.
Yeah, but this is in a record pace or something.
Bullshit.
It feels like it.
Everyone quit, didn't they? Everyone quit at one point. Everyone quit on Obama's. Well, it happens. It happens in the beginning. The cabinet, everyone resigns. It pretty much happens all the time. The FBI heads, you can't really feel bad for them. They're criminals. They were criminals, pretty much. They broke the law,
right.
Pretty much. They did whatever they wanted. But there's a lot of other crazy things going on in the news. You see Jonathan Martin? He's just got charged.
No, I didn't see that.
The old Dolphins.
Oh yeah.
He got charged because
Now that you mention it,
the thing about bullying is bad. Bullying should not happen. But everyone's been bullied.
Right.
Now the thing about it is, you don't need to get firearms and go on social media threatening people that bullied you, saying things like, when you're bullied and you're upset and you're a coward, there's only two things: suicide or revenge. You got firearms and you call out Richard Cognito and Pouncey.
Yeah.
You kind of gotta bring the guy in. You kind of gotta bring the guy in. That's kind of sick. So we'll see what happens with that. Now back to the Uber. Did you hear about the Uber thing?
No, I didn't.
Yeah. So so Uber was doing the self-driving cars, and so with that. In Arizona,
right?
You only needed to register like a normal car. In other states, you need to register it and more paperwork, what you want to do with it. So Uber's been testing them out a lot in Arizona.
Yeah.
And so recently, one of the self-driving cars, even though it was manned by somebody, ran somebody over.
Yeah. Oh, that's crazy.
So now Uber actually suspended the use of those.
Wow.
Yeah, and can you believe that someone was actually driving the car?
Well, I'm reading
it
here.
He's still behind it, and
yeah.
He ran someone over. I don't understand that.
Yeah, I'm reading it here, and it said a woman was crossing, outside of a crosswalk, and she was struck. That's unfortunate. That's sad.
I just don't understand. What I don't understand about it is, you had one job, the guy behind the car. If something goes wrong with the self-driving car, stop it.
Yeah.
He fucked up, and now someone got killed.
Well, the question is, how long how long before that becomes, not saying the accident, but how long before, that becomes a norm? These self-driving, before you don't even need I mean, the taxi business is already being, Uber and Lyft has already done a number on the taxi. The amount of taxis and the taxi services are getting cut. How long before they just destroy that business totally? When they start getting self-driving and...
They'll never destroy it completely. I mean, yes, you can look it up on your phone and you can get into that on your phone.
Right, I mean, who needs a taxi now? But people will say, oh, well, when it's 3 o'clock at a bar and the taxis sit out there, that's what the taxis are doing now. They're sitting outside bars late and hoping to get the...
What happens if your phone? What happens if your phone dies? Then how do you get Uber?
That's what I'm saying. That's why they're out there.
That's how you get a taxi.
Maybe that's why that's when taxis are,
Sometimes in a business, when the environment changes, you have to change the way you approach the business to turn profits.
Right.
Your business isn't necessarily dead. You just got to approach the way that you do it.
Makes sense.
So, anything else in the news that you think is exciting?
Well, I heard. What do you think about? I don't know if you heard, but Facebook now has changed. They're doing their analytics now and insights. And it's getting kind of in depth. So
actually, a big thing about Facebook recently in the news is Facebook actually during the Trump administration, one of the actual Cambridge Analytica, one of the companies that did the analytics for the Trump administration, basically what they could do is they could take up pretty much a lot of private information from like 50 thousands of people,
millions
of people.
Exact.
So basically, they can. There's really no. I mean, I think we all knew there was no actual. You were never safe on Facebook from people finding your stuff, but I mean, pretty much Facebook knew about it and they didn't tell anybody. And if you saw, their stock actually went down 6.5%.
Yeah.
And people are not saying that's why the market corrected today, but the market is correcting. It has been correcting a little bit. They're trying to blame Trump and his tweets and FBI and Mueller. But really,
now that and really, it's also saying
it's a big thing about this Facebook correcting 6.5% today.
Right.
That really put a killer on things. And that stock, I mean, if you look at it, they're
they broke. It says they broke Facebook's rules. I mean, you gotta play by the rules, Frank.
Well, Facebook knew they broke the rules and they didn't do anything about it. But they didn't do anything about it. That's the problem. Facebook didn't do anything about it. Too little, too late. The stock's gonna crumble. It's gonna fall back a little bit. Not crumble, but it's going to fall back a little bit. I mean, their price to earnings ratio is at 34 right now. So, I mean, the stock's got to fall back anyway. I mean, they don't make as much money as they're valued, but that's what happens with internet companies. But nonetheless, I mean, Facebook is too liberal with the way they do things.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we've heard it from the CEO a few times, He tries to think all day about what to tell people and how to get people to think. I mean, they're too liberal with the way they do things. I mean, it's too easy to get information from them. I mean, really, it's not safe. And if there's an actual site out there, a social media site, that is actually safe for users, where people don't have to be afraid of what's out there or getting their information stolen, I mean, Facebook's going to fall apart, going to fall out soon.
So, Frank, what else do you want to talk about tonight?
So, Tiger Woods doesn't suck anymore, apparently.
Yeah, I saw that. ESPN's been on his nuts the last
dude takes second. Dude takes second in the tournament.
Yeah.
Now he's
back to 2008 Tiger. When he won the U.S. Open and.
Now everyone thinks that he's got a chance to win a Masters because he took second in the tournament.
Isn't he favored? It's kind
of like that one time in the NBA when Shaq, when he was falling apart, he had a good game and they put him in the MVP running just because it was Shaq.
Right.
I mean, he won second place. I mean, he should be winning more, but I mean, it was at the Valspar Championships. I mean, now they said that he has a chance.
Well, I give him credit because
that he has a chance to win. I mean, 16-1. He's a 16-1 odds, but I mean, so he still doesn't really have a chance. But they're giving him the shot because.
Well, I give him a lot of credit because he's actually doing about 4 tournaments in a row. Usually he picks and chooses, but he's actually doing a segment of the tour. Like 4 in a row.
Yeah, I kind of
like regulars do.
Right.
I got to give him credit. He's not picking and choosing as much. I mean, he still did his buddy Arnold's tournament and Arnold Palmer.
Yeah, I hope he does win one though. Another Masters, just so we could stop hearing about him.
No, I agree.
I just want him to go away.
I think it says here 10-1 odds, and of course you got other contenders. Justin Thomas, who's just won a major recently. Rory's in the mix. Rory McIlroy.
Right.
And of course you always got Phil Mickelson. He's the lefty.
Right. The thing about Lefty, the thing I never understood was Lefty was always number 2 to Tiger. Tiger fell apart. He hurt his back a few times, which he probably hurt with all his affairs.
Well, Lefty's back in.
How else do you hurt your back playing golf? And it must have been the affairs that hurt his back.
Yeah. And all the chicks going in and out of the bedroom.
Well, whatever. But the dude fell apart.
Yeah.
And look at Lefty, who was number 2 to him forever. And now he's still golfing pretty well.
Right.
I mean, I don't understand. Tiger Woods just fell off a cliff, and I don't know about that.
Yeah. Well, so what do you think? What do you think about all betting that's been going on? It says 7% of all money have been wagered so far have been for Woods. That seems kind of low, doesn't it?
Well, I mean, let's be real. Tiger Woods isn't a hot item right now. He's Tiger Woods still, so he's always got the chance to win. But let's be real, he doesn't play good golf anymore.
Oh, I forgot about that. It says he's 4th behind just Thomas, John Rahm, and Dustin Johnson on waging. Dustin Johnson's another guy I think that could surprise. I don't know if you know who Dustin Johnson is. He won a major recently. Big guy. You know who Dustin Johnson is? Or you don't care?
I haven't been watching much golf.
No, I'm just saying there's other contenders besides Tiger. The media's acting like Tiger's the end-all be-all. You got major winners that have won it in the last decade.
Right. Right. Well, I mean,
I think it was a decade ago. Wasn't it a decade ago? 2008. So that's 10 years ago already.
Right. Well,
since Tiger's been relevant in major competition.
But the reason Tiger gets all the thing is because he's the cash cow of the golf industry.
Right.
If Tiger wins, you will make more money. If Tiger wins, everybody wins.
Yeah, he can make the no one gives a shit open.
Right.
High rating.
Right. I mean, if Tiger's there, you make more money. That's why they all want to push that Tiger's there.
Right.
But
no, I agree.
But onto some real sports.
Yeah.
Did you see that Virginia made sports history by choking? Worse than any team's ever choked in the NCAA tournament?
Yeah, I watched that game. That was crazy. UMBC, the Retrievers, they upset Virginia 74-54 to become the first team in NCAA tournament history as a 16 seed to beat a 1 seed on the men's side. It happened on the women's side years back with Harvard, but that was the first time it's happened on the men's side.
I gotta say, man, it was awful. I mean, you got University of Virginia. Not only were you a 1 seed,
but yeah,
you were the one of 1 seeds. You were the 1 seed overall.
The creme de la creme of 1 seeds.
You were supposed to. I mean, yes, you're 6-man.
And of course, the media.
Your 6-man got hurt.
That's what the media went to automatically.
But that shouldn't matter.
Oh, they're 6-man.
You're one out of all teams.
Yeah.
In the NCAA, you should still beat the 16 seed. Not only did you lose, you got completely beat and raped. They tied you up and did something to your wife. I mean, they got completely embarrassed.
They had a point guard. UMBC's point guard was about as tall as me and you, Frank. He's running out there and dropping dimes like he was robbing them. Just dropping dimes. They let him into the paint every single possession. It seemed like he was like Rajon Rondo in his prime out there. Jason Kidd. They made him look like Jason Kidd.
Well, every blind squirrel gets a nut sometimes.
When that one guy Lyles was hitting threes like nothing. He was looking like Kobe out there.
I mean, like I said, a blind squirrel gets a nut every once in a while. Virginia should have been able to stop them. The thing about Virginia that killed them, though, in that game is when the going gets tough, you got to bond together as a team and play. The going got tough, and they started yelling at each other. They started all losing their composure. When you start losing your composure, you can never win.
There was a lot of big upsets this tournament. You had Xavier go down to They were also another number 1 seed that went down. They lost to Florida State 75-70. Xavier just fell apart. They were supposed to be senior laden, and some people didn't even think Xavier should have been a 1 seed. But I was on board with him being a 1 seed. And Florida State just took over. And then you also have North Carolina also went down. So
well, look at Cincinnati. They were a 2 seed.
Cincinnati went down as well.
They were up by 20 what? 25, 24?
Yeah, 22.
22 at one point.
Nevada, right? Yeah,
22, and they blew it.
They just gave it away.
I mean, that's awful.
And
look at Syracuse. They shouldn't even been in the tournament.
That's that first 4 thing where
they played
started
a pigtail to get in. They win, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they keep winning. They just beat Michigan State.
Yeah, well, that's the thing with the first four is ever since they started a few years back, they've been at least one of the teams that has made it out of that weekend. Frank has advanced further in tournament because I think they get some momentum. You know, they get a tournament win and in Syracuse with that zone defense.
Yeah, zone defense.
Boeheim's still messing around with their defense, taking
his own
guys
defense,
in and out. And
his own defense is good. I mean, because you don't have to be as talented as the other team.
They play like 10 guys. They just rotate in and out.
You don't have to. But his own defense, you don't have to be as good as the other team because you're playing the zone. You're not playing 1-on-1.
And I think they're experienced too. I don't think they have some seniors, and it showed.
I mean, they're playing well right now, but I mean, they're a good tournament team.
I would watch out for West Virginia destroyed Marshall. West Virginia's still in it.
They destroyed Marshall.
Yeah, but Marshall made it to the second round.
They destroyed Marshall.
I'm just saying, you gotta look out for teams like that.
No, what you gotta look up for is that team, that Loyola Chicago team or whatever it's called.
Yeah, with that you see that mascot, the Sister Jean.
Yeah, Sister
chaplain,
Jean. I think they said they said she's been on TV.
I feel bad saying she's a mascot, but she's a.
They said she's been on more on TV more than anything else during the NCAA tournament.
Yeah.
That team is 11 seed and they look good.
She's probably gotten more action. She's probably gotten more action in the last week than she has in her entire life. Oh, come on.
What is wrong with you?
That was a good one. Because get it, she's a nun.
No, I get it. What the hell's wrong with you?
It's hilarious. Okay. So, what else you want to talk about, Frank?
So, did you see that the walkouts at the schools?
Yeah, I saw that on the news.
Kids are failing their tests because they're walking out during their tests.
Yeah, kids are getting suspended, and the media was glorifying it, especially when the Columbine. Students walked out in protest. Kids were holding up signs. It's like, how do they get those signs? Did the media feed them those signs?
Well, in some schools,
what was going on?
In some schools, they are saying that their administrators are pushing them to do the walkouts. However, I mean, and these teachers, they do have a school to run. I mean, they do have a school to run. I mean, if you do...
Yeah, it's not a dictatorship.
I'm not saying... It is a dictatorship. It's a school.
But,
and first and foremost...
yeah, but this is America. Even kids
school.
have right to
They can protest, but the thing about when you protest... The thing about when you protest, there are consequences when you protest. And the thing about protesting is, you stand for a right, and sometimes you do have pushback. But... I mean, they have the right to protest, but they're going to get pushback. And, I mean, that's part of protesting. You're going to get pushback.
Yeah.
If everything was cool and dandy, you wouldn't be protesting.
Yeah, did you hear...
Plus, I have a question about these. Everyone's worried about the guns. Why about those 4 bombs that went off in Austin today? Why did no one care? Why is there no media coverage on those 4 bombs that went off in Austin today?
I don't know, Frank, but aren't we talking about the school walkouts?
I am, but I'm saying... They only want to glorify these gun shootings, not the bombings that went off in Austin today. No one cares about that.
Right. Well, I don't know, Frank, but I was gonna.
I guess including you. Anyway, continue back with what you want to talk about.
I was gonna say, as was crazy was Penridge High School in Pennsylvania gave over 200 students detention for walking out on on March 14th is when the walkout happened. Everyone walked out at 10 a.m. and some of them some schools even let them do give them 17 minutes, 1 minute for each victim. So a lot of schools did different things, but yeah, gave over 200 people detention for exercising their right.
Because it's a school.
Yeah, but how they say, hey, it's your turn for detention. Like, I wonder how they even pulled that off. The whole school had detention. I'm laughing. That's terrible.
Well, the thing about it is.
It's like, it's your turn for detention.
Well, no, but
your turn.
No, but if the school, didn't set up the protest, right? Then the people that kids protest and they protested, they had class. They walked out. What happens if you have class and you walk out of it? You get detention. It's how rules work.
Yeah, it says 46 of the 225 gave their served it on the Saturday. So they've messed up their weekend, I guess.
Well, yes, they protested. They protested because of the way they feel. But when you walk out of a scheduled class, you're gonna get in trouble. Yeah, that's how it works. You walk out of a test and don't finish it, you're gonna get a failing grade.
Yeah,
that's how it works.
Yeah,
that's how school works.
I agree. I'm just saying I liked what they stood for. Like we mentioned on our podcast with Gravity Sucks. 21 and up is very reasonable on guns.
It's not guns, just assault rifles.
Or, excuse me. No, but I'm just saying, I think 21 and up should be the rule for purchasing.
Why do you believe that? If you can go to the military and use a gun
I just
at
think
18.
that there has to be
If
some
you can
sort
go
of,
to the military and use a gun at 18, why can't you buy it?
there has to be some sort of like breakdown here on, or some crackdown. That's just my personal belief. I mean, but like I said, I
Guns have been like that for years.
Yeah,
People have not been getting shot in schools.
You just said it was reasonable last time.
It was reasonable for assault rifles to be 21.
Okay, but not
all
all
guns.
firearms. Okay. So Frank, what do you want to talk about next?
How about Donald Trump Jr.? Poor bastard, his wife's leaving him.
Yeah, I know. I saw that.
You know, that O'Day girl, you know, she's talking about, you know, she had enough Trump with Donald Trump Jr.
Yeah, well, but they're saying that had nothing to do with the divorce.
Well,
you don't believe that?
I get that. It probably didn't have anything to do with the divorce. If we learned anything about rich billionaires, they love to cheat on their wives.
Well,
especially the Trumps. But that's irrelevant. If you ever want to cheat on your wife, like Donald Trump Jr. did, I gotta say, it makes it really hard to cover it up when she makes 2 songs about it. She made 2 songs about her affair with Donald Trump Jr.
Yeah, I hate to quote a Vanity Fair article, Frank, but reading this article, it says that he treated her like a second-class citizen. Well, no shit, she's gonna leave. You know, if she feels belittled, like if he's being a dick.
I don't know. I wasn't inside their marriage. I don't know if he was treating her like a second-class citizen or not. I heard he was
sources.
I heard he was cheap and wouldn't give her enough money to get her shit down together. She didn't have enough money to pick up a check. Mm-hmm. She must have been living in poverty. Poor girl.
Yeah, I wonder what sources.
She was a Trump.
Yeah.
Married to Donald Trump Jr. and they make it sound like she was living in poverty. Are you kidding me?
Well,
she's loaded. They're all loaded.
Well, they're saying that before they were having issues even before they got married in 2005. So this has been going on for years and years.
You know, I never understood that. People, they're dating, they're having issues, they go to a therapy, and then what do? They get married and think that'll change things. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, I don't know. You know, it's he said, she said. Well, if they're both unhappy, then it's for the best they're not together.
I guess so. Gotta feel bad for him. She was a looker.
So, you want to get to our sensible and cynical thoughts?
Sure, absolutely.
Okay, I'll let you go first.
So, for my sensible thought, you know, I think, you know, the world is heading in a good situation. I mean, I don't know if anyone's, you know, this is probably the first time I'm mentioning it. You know, Trump is going hard on China with the tariffs, and yeah, people are upset that, you know, it's taking the market. People are losing money, but I gotta tell you, I think that this country is in a positive direction. I think we're standing up for ourselves. Mm-hmm. I think things are getting better all around. You know, obviously there's still a lot of race issues in the country, but I think over time those will work them ways out. And along with everything else, I really think this country is in a great place, and I think this world is going in the right direction.
Yeah, I'm gonna go sensible. I think I'm gonna talk about, you know, the gun issues that's going on, and I think that even if it's just a certain type of weapon, that raising the age limit or the minimum age to 21 is a good thing. I think it's a positive step, and I just hope that we continue to have discussions on both sides, and that the NRA is at least willing to negotiate, and just, you know, I don't want us to lose our, you know, right to bear arms, but again, this stuff has to be.
I never lose my right to bear arms.
Yeah, of course you would say that. But no, so I just want, you know, both sides to have a you know, get everything out and open. Both sides have a point, and I think we're going in the right direction. So that's my sensible thought. Okay, so if you could just follow us on Podbean, subscribe, rate, and review us on iTunes. And Frank, you have anything else you want to talk about tonight?
Yeah, I can't believe that you had a sensible thought and I didn't feel the need to rebuttal. I want to congratulate you on having a thought
for the first time in the history of the show.
I want to congratulate you on having a thought that I didn't have to fix.
Yeah, well, maybe 3 months and change in, I'm finally getting the hang of this.
Yeah, maybe you're having thoughts now that are good.
Yeah, well, I'm dealing with you, and you know, maybe that has something to do with.
You're right. I'm rubbing off on you, and you're becoming better. I get it.
All right. Take care, everybody.